It's estimated that around 20,000 Ukrainian children have been forcibly displaced and abducted, taken from Ukrainian homes to Russia and Russian-occupied territory. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for President Putin to face charges of unlawful deportation of children and unlawful transfer of children. There are dozens of independent investigators, researchers using open source intelligence technology to try to identify what's happened to those deported children. We know around 1,900 of those children have been returned. That's according to the Ukrainian Bring Kids Home initiative. Officials in the Kremlin deny its abduction. They describe it as humanitarian evacuations to Russia to save the lives, they say, on, quote, a voluntary basis, denying the allegations put forward by the International Criminal Court. There is a Ukrainian group of musicians, they're called the Daughters of Donbass, that are highlighting the plight of so many children taken. The group is starting a world tour, and we're about to hear from one of those singers, a teenager, Liza, who managed to escape from Russia in a moment. First, this is the music and the message of Daughters of Donbass. Welcome to France 24. Liza, it is incredible to speak to you today, to hear your story of what you've been through. Can we start? You were in Mariupol, that's where it begins. I think you were 15 at the time. You were in a rock band. You've said you were enjoying life. You're having a great life in Ukraine. What happened to you?
Yes, it's really true. I raised in Mariupol. It's my mother town. And before the war, we had the same life as you, like all activities and the fully very active teenage life. But one day it changed everything. I saw how my town was destroyed, totally destroyed, was erased from the face of the earth. My house was burned to the ground, and I was deported to Russia in my early 16.
What actually happened? What was the moment that you thought that you were taken? Who took you? Where did you go?
One day, just some of Russian soldiers come to our home and said that if we want to leave, because they want to clean the area around our home or something, we're supposed to run for our lives. And we just took everything that that we had, like everything that we was wearing became all that we was own in our life, and we just ran for our lives. And there was a big line of the people they was deporting to the filtration camps. That was camps that filtrate people to deportate them to Russia.
So at this point, you were in a filtration camp.
It was in a DPR republic.
Did you know where you were?
Yes, in a civil filtration camps.
What, you were bussed there? You were put on a train? What were the conditions like when you were there?
There was a line of people, like 5,000 or 6,000 of people, of just ordinary Mariupol civilians.
Yeah.
And there was a bus that came every 3 hours to pick only 20 people. It was so humiliating because the soldiers was laughing and having a great time. They just humiliate Ukrainians, and there was a two type of bus. They was disconnect families very casually, like if they took a children, they put in just a random bus and it goes somewhere in DPR. And we stayed in this line for 27 hours, like all the day, all the night, and the morning of the next day in the street with a very big pressure of people in this line. It's the scariest moment I remember for all the war, the way they was treating to people, the ordinary Mariupols.
And at this point, you're in a filtration camp. What does it look like? How long do you stay there? You know, are you in several buildings with other children at the time as well? I know you were keeping a diary at this point as well, writing what was going on. I mean, were you told what was going on, what was going to happen to you?
The conditions of the filtration camps, it was like condition of the old DPR Republic. It was so poor that we didn't even have things to eat. We didn't have water or electricity. And they don't even have things to basic hygiene. We just have only propaganda lists and no condition to life. They give us a bunch of carton cards and bunch of some old clothes and said, choose what you will be sleeping on, what you will be wearing. That's all they give us. And they we've been through a big filtration, like with interviews, with checking our phones, with washing our minds with Russian propaganda. People was so scared, and the condition and the treatment from the soldiers was so bad, like we was war criminals or something. They just literally hated us, and we stayed there for a whole month. They like just dropped us in one filtration camp to the next filtration camp, and the conditions was like in a progressive way getting worse and worse in every base. And they just when the final filtration ended, they just put in a bus and drive to Russia.
When you got to Russia, you kept this war diary that we're seeing, Liza. Talk us through that, how that helped, and as you documented each day that you were there. And I read at one point you drank water from melted snow, you drained water from the batteries, to drink.
Yes, because it was an occupation in Mariupol, like totally Mad Max. No civilian, no civilization, nothing. You survive as you could. And the way I was writing my diary, just because I literally believed that I will not survive in this condition. I saw how people die every day, so many children, so many dead corpses. I didn't realize that it will help me. I just was writing my what's on my mind was in this time.
And unlike so many cases right now, what is incredible about your story and why I'm talking to you now is you managed to escape. Tell us about how long you were held, what you thought was going to happen to you, and how you got to St. Petersburg and managed to escape.
The big role in all the escape plan played my mentor from Mariupol, Maria Pronina. She saved so many children from the Mariupol. There was a teenage cluster for activities. It called Two, and Maria was like some kind of teacher in it. I was a part of these art activities. And when the war came and she realized that so many children is just casually deported to Russia and stayed there because we lost everything that we had. We lost our flats, we lost anything, everything. And we didn't have a chance to go back without something. So she started to searching for these children all around Russia. And she find net of the hiding volunteers in Russia that give us money to escape, that give us bought us ticket. And my boyfriend, he lived to Ukraine. We was separate by the river in Mariupol. I was in the side that was close to Russia, and he was on the side that was close to Ukraine. And we lived in Mariupol in one day, but in different sites. So he connected with Maria Pronina, and they started searching for any possibilities to save me, to send me somewhere where I can be in safety. Because all the Russians was pressuring on me so that I supposed to get their education, so that I supposed to get their passport, a Russian passport. It was so scary and pressuring on me because I was just a kid.
Were you
They
placed?
saved me.
So you've managed to stay in touch with your boyfriend throughout this period. Were you placed under a
Yes,
Russian?
we're still together.
It's amazing. Were you placed with a Russian family, or was it an institution
Yes.
that when you were getting this propaganda, when you were being told about education? Where were you at this point? Were you in a house with a Russian family, being educated as though you were their daughter?
No, it was because we had relatives in Russia. They put us in a better condition camp in Russia because all Ukrainians was going to the working camps where you supposed to work to get the basic life level goods. But in the better condition camps was for the DPR citizen, and I got there. There was like not so bad conditions, but it's not supposed to be Ukrainians there. So I was supposed to keep a secret that I'm from Mariupol because they could give me not such a pleasant treatment. So like that.
Wow, Liza, you mentioned about you thought essentially you were going to be brought into the Russian system. You got to St. Petersburg. From there, you managed to get out. And part of it was incredible subterfuge on your part. You put even the Russian Z mark on your phone as well, didn't you? Because you knew your phone would be checked. Talk us through that point. That you must have been absolutely terrified at this point that it was all going to come to an end. How did you get out?
Yes, it was very surprising for me this way because all the situation with filtration camps that I've been through in DPR was to prove that I'm not a Nazist, I'm not a Ukrainian Nazist or something. All the mind-blowing things and all the check-ins, it was leading to the status that I'm not a Nazi. And they even give me a document that I'm not a Nazi. You can realize how absurd it is. And one day when I was in Russia, I was basically driving a bus, and the bus was stopped by a police, and all the Ukrainians was like getting out to check in their documents, and I given them that document like, look, I got through the filtration. I'm not a Nazi. And they said, DPR is not really a country. We don't accept such kind of documents.
Wow.
So we're supposed to check you another time. And they got me to the police department building and told me to get all of my clothes to check if I have a swastika tattoo, because they believed that all the Nazis from Ukraine have a swastika tattoo on them, and they all was men. And I said, oh, I think it's not how it should be. I want woman to check me. And they was acting like, okay, we think that you are on drugs, that you are Nazis. I was redhead, and they said there is a legend about the shooter from Azovstal, redhead girl that shot so many Russian soldiers is supposed to be you. You're definitely a Nazi, but okay, we will give you a woman to check you. And it was so humiliating. It's not even like you're a person from the second sort. It was like you're not even a human. One time when I met a girl from Russia and we started chatting, and she said, "Where did you came from?" I said, "I'm from Mariupol," and she casually just go away from me because they was scared to speaking with the people from Ukraine.
I mean, you've hit it. The Mad Max scenario you described just when you were drinking battery fluid, but even the questioning you were going through. And I guess you wouldn't know at this point that you would get to where you are now, that you end up being in Germany. And how did you get involved with Daughters of Donbass? And this is an incredible group, spreading a message. Essentially, just tell me what you're trying to do with this group. And, well, you're about to embark on a world tour with them.
Yeah, it's it's all connected with Maria Pronina, who saved me. She knew Marichka, and we just basically met in Kiev because when I was when I escaped to Germany, I couldn't stay to be in Germany. And when I turned 18, I write back to my boyfriend to be together. And we stayed in Ukraine all this time. We moved back to Germany nearby only like 3 months, like we stay in Germany. And we all met in Kiev. She introduced me to Marichka, and this was a like universal connection of love. We was like soulmates. We just start chatting about our war experience because she's an war medicine. She was on the Donbass so many times as me, and we just start chatting. Oh, I saw this. I've been through this, and we fell in love with each other. She told me that about all the group, and I was a musician. All the things was connected so far, and I'm so happy that I could participate, and even more that I could tell everything about what happens, because so many people die and the dead one is silent, and only I is available to speak, because all the Russian propaganda trying to blow minds with
Yeah.
all the situations. They just basically rebuild Mariupol and tell that everything was okay. Azovsia is so beautiful, and they sell our ruined homes with a good price. I can't stand it. I didn't cry when everything was happening around me, when my home was destroyed, but I can hold back my tears when I see Russian propaganda about how wonderfully my city is being rebuilt.
I can hear it in
This
you.
means that no one will be punished.
I can hear it in you.
And
I can
a
hear.
crime against humanity.
No, the
What?
fact that you are speaking on behalf of so many people that cannot speak, and I can hear that within your passion that you want to get this message told, to reverse the propaganda. When we hear from the Kremlin saying they are saving people, they did this to help. This was essentially a humanitarian mission, and yet we know the ICC have a warrant for President Putin, and it is incredible now. You are spreading this message around the world. You've got tour dates coming up. Let's see them. You've got tour dates in Scotland, in England, starting this week, in Canada. Then you're off to Australia coming up as well in Adelaide. I want to ask you how you're feeling about the tour, but I want to also have a listen first. We heard it at the start, but it's incredibly beautiful, also very haunting, the music we'll hear. Let's have a listen. If you go and see them, this is what you'll hear. That's Foreign Lands, A Mother's Lament. Liza, how much does this mean to you, what you're about to embark on now?
I feel very exciting because for real, it was my dream to visit Britain. It was like, it was my crazy dream. I never realized that it could be possible for me one day. And it's I feel like it's a very big mission for me, because all this crime against humanity is being quite swept under the carpet. But I want to stand in today, and that means that they didn't succeed in it. I want to ask the world to not turn around. That war, it's not something that you can swipe away or forget like a bad nightmare, because they want us to forget.
It's amazing to hear you. I looked at your war diary, and I know you talked about at one point you dreamt of simply being able to drink normal water. That was visceral to you, the taste of pure water. Now you have 2026, a tour on the cards as well. And just a brief thought, what are you focusing on now, Liza, for the future? A continued tour and continuing to get your message out there?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liza, and we'll hopefully speak to you on the other side of this tour. Liza of Daughters of Donbass, thank you for talking to us tonight. Liza, who escaped after being abducted from Ukraine.